Hello, Carla. Thank you so much for coming in today. Um, Last week, I administered a test. It was on substance use. Do you remember that test
Right,
from last?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I got your test back. I added up the scores, and I have a copy here for you. We can go over it with together. You did mention that you smoke cannabis,
hmm
and for cannabis, you got a low score, meaning that you're not at risk, you're not at a high risk. Um, and also tobacco, you also score low on tobacco. And for cannabis, it can lead to problems with attention and motivation. It can also lead to anxiety, panic, or depression, and other psychotic symptoms. You do not have to worry about these risks, but I do want to tell you that if you continue to smoke more, it can lead to problems at work. It can lead to problems with you being focused or staying on task. If you're doing something, you want to make sure that you're not smoking or you're not under the influence of cannabis. For example, if you're driving, make sure you're not under the influence of cannabis. And if you would like to quit and just lower it more and more, and decrease it and potentially just get rid of it, I can give you more information on that as well. For tobacco, some of the risks are premature aging, respiratory infections, or cancer, and also heart disease. And for tobacco, I just want to give you some advice on that. Just make sure that if you do smoke tobacco, that you kind of let people know that you're gonna go take a break and that you'll be back. And for tobacco, is not that concerning because you are at a lower risk, and it is legal for you to smoke at designated areas, so it's not a concerning issue in your case. Um, and but for alcohol, you did mention you drink, and for alcohol, you are at high risk. You got a score of 28, 27 being uh, 27 is where it starts to be concerning, which is high risk already. But you got a 28. And I would like to get a little bit deeper with that. Some of the risks from alcohol are that you get hangovers the next day. It can lead to aggression or violent behavior. It can also cause digestive problems and ulcers. It can also lead to anxiety or produce depression. It can also cause a stroke, um, and also other health concerning problems such as liver and pancreas disease. And it can also lead to cancer and even suicide. And based on the risks that I'm telling you right now, um, is it concerning? Are you concerned about your score?
Um, I am just mostly because I didn't think that I was at high risk for dependency. I thought my drinking was pretty average, so it it surprised me, and it also scares me a bit to see all the things that I'm at risk for that I hadn't considered.
Okay. Just to keep going a little bit further, what are some good things that you get or receive from alcohol?
Uh, for me, it's mostly relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to unwind at the end of the day when I get home from work with a couple of drinks. I know that people say you should go exercise, but sometimes you're just really tired, and so it's nice to have a few drinks and just lay out on the couch, you know. Um, and then on the weekends, well, I like to drink with my friends, with my coworkers, and just to have a good time, you know. It's fun.
Okay. What about the not so good things about using alcohol that you see in yourself?
Definitely the hangovers.
Okay.
I've noticed that the older I get, the less I can hang. So I do feel terrible in the mornings, and it's especially worse on Mondays if I've been out on the weekend because of work. It makes it really hard to do what I need to do. Um, so I would feel like that's the biggest thing for me. Other than that, I don't think I really have many problems, but I mean, maybe some of them are related to drinking, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, so it sounds that you typically drink to feel relaxed, to deal with some stress.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a long day at the office. You typically go to this, or even with your friends, you might go social drinking. It's something you guys like to do. Something you like to do with your friends. Just have a good time. Makes you feel good. Makes you get closer with each other, and just makes you have a good time. But it's also not a good thing because I heard that you get hangovers, that you feel worse the next day. You feel like you have you have a headache. You have
Yeah, and I get like more irritated, like easily
Yeah.
because I have a headache. So
Okay.
just kind of, it makes it hard to be around people.
Okay, so I hear that it's difficult to be around people the next day. You just feel irritated and just you don't feel good.
Yeah.
You feel bad. Okay. From a scale of 1 to 10, one, sorry, from a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not at all ready to change, 10 being ready to change, where do you think you would fall on that scale?
Um, after everything you told me, like with the risk, I'd like to say a 10. Like, I'm here. I want to change. I need help, but at the same time, just like having to change everything is, I don't know if I'm completely ready, so I'd say I'm more of like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, more like a 7.
So why a 7 and not a 2?
I guess 2 for me would mean like I don't really care much, but I do care, but I'd lie if I said a 10. I do care a lot because, well, I'm young and I don't want to deal with a lot of stuff, like health issues later on. So I definitely care, but I also care about having a good time, and right now this is like how I relax, so
Okay.
that's why I'm not really a 10 yet.
Okay. So it sounds that the will is there. You want to change. You really want to change. You're ready, but you feel that there might be some resistance from you from changing. It makes you feel good. It's a way for you to cope, to deal with stress, deal with anything that happened throughout the week. It's just easier to forget about the problem and just go have some fun with your friends.
Yeah.
And since you did score at a high risk, my advice to you would be to slowly try to decrease it, potentially maybe one day quitting. I do think that since you are at a high risk, it's concerning because it can lead to problems at work. It can lead to DUIs. It can lead to relationship problems. It can lead to different things that I mentioned earlier. So I do think that you should probably think about changing your behavior or your habit. I would like to give you some more information on alcohol. I have a booklet for you. I would like for you to take it home and read it. It does talk about the different symptoms and the different risks that alcohol produces. So I would like for you to read it and just it gets deeper with the risk, so it can be a good way for you to get more information. But I also would like to refer you to a specialist where they can potentially give you an assessment, and then they can refer you to counseling, to therapy, even to an AA group where you can meet other people and be able to slowly decrease and maybe find other ways to cope with your stress and find better ways to relax and just feel better about yourself. Um, do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I hope that this information was helpful, and
Oh,
we will continue to work with you so that you can slowly get out of the high risk. Thank you so much for coming in. Have a great day.
thank you. You too.